The night it happened, the table was set like it always was on Sundays. White cloth, chipped porcelain plates, the same old gravy boat my wife insisted on using even though the handle was cracked. The smell of roasted chicken filled the house, mixed with garlic and something sweet I couldn't quite name. Family dinners were supposed to be warm, comforting. For me, they had slowly become something else. My stepson, Eric, sat across from me, leaning back in his chair like he owned the place. 26 years old, expensive haircut, designer watch, the kind of confidence that comes from believing the world owes you something. I had been in his life since he was 12. I'd paid for his school trips, helped with his homework, taught him how to drive. I'd stayed up nights when he had fevers, and I'd held my tongue when he slammed doors and told me I wasn't his real father. But lately, the respect had vanished completely. The conversation drifted to careers. My wife, Maria, proudly talked about Eric's new position at a fast-growing tech firm. "He's already managing a team," she said, smiling. "Can you believe it at his age?" Everyone nodded, aunts, uncles, cousins, then someone turned to me. "And you?" my brother-in-law asked, still at the same place. I nodded yes, same company, different department now. Eric laughed, not a polite chuckle, a sharp, mocking laugh that cut through the room. "Different department, same level," he said, still a middle-aged nobody, right? The room went quiet. I felt heat rise to my face, but I said nothing. Maria shot him a warning look, but he ignored it. "Come on," he continued, swirling his wine. Be honest, you've been working for, 25 years, and you're still not even a director, no stock options, no big title. If that's not a loser, what is?" A few people shifted uncomfortably, someone cleared their throat. I set my fork down slowly. My hands were steady, even though something inside me tightened. "Eric," Maria said softly, "that's enough." But he wasn't done. "I'm just saying what everyone's thinking," he shrugged. "I mean, look at him, same car for 10 years, same suit to every wedding, no ambition, no risk, no real success." All eyes were on me now, waiting for a reaction, a defense, an outburst, anything. I smiled faintly. "You're right," I said, "I've never been much for showing off." He smirked, satisfied. Dinner continued, awkward and quiet. I barely tasted the food. I kept my head down, answering when spoken to, offering no argument. To Eric, my silence probably looked like weakness. What he didn't know was that I had learned long ago, you don't correct a storm, you wait for it to pass. And sometimes you let it destroy itself. 2 weeks later, Eric called me. He didn't say hello. "Do you know anyone in compliance?" he asked sharply. I paused. "At my company or yours?" "Yours doesn't matter, I need advice." That was new, he had never asked me for advice about anything serious. "What's going on?" I asked. A beat of silence. "There's an issue at work," he said. "A deal I helped close, now legal is asking questions." "What kind of questions?" "About insider information," he muttered, "about conflicts of interest." My stomach tightened. Eric had always liked shortcuts, connections, quiet favors, the kind of things young, ambitious men convince themselves are harmless. "You should tell the truth," I said. He laughed bitterly. "Easy for you to say, you've got nothing to lose." I almost smiled at that. "Be careful, Eric," I said, "these things grow fast." He hung up. A month later, his company announced an internal investigation, then a government one. The tech blogs started whispering about manipulated stock, leaked acquisition plans, and a junior manager who had shared confidential data with an outside investor, his college friend. That junior manager was Eric. He called again, this time late at night. His voice shook. "They're suspending me," he said. "They're taking my access, my accounts, everything." "I'm sorry," I said, and I meant it, not for his career, for the boy he used to be. "They could press charges," he whispered. "Do you know what that means? My future is over." I was quiet for a long moment. "Remember that dinner?" I finally asked. He didn't answer. "You said I had no ambition," I continued. "No risk, no success. You were wrong about one thing. I take risks, I just take the kind that don't gamble with my integrity." Another silence. "I never cut corners," I said. "That's why I'm still standing." The investigation turned into prosecution. His name was in the papers, not in bold, but enough for recruiters to notice, enough for friends to stop calling, enough for the bank to freeze a bonus he had already spent in his head. His girlfriend left, his apartment went back on the market, the watch disappeared from his wrist. One evening he showed up at our door. No designer jacket, no confident smile, just tired eyes and slumped shoulders. Maria let him in, he barely looked at her, he came straight to me. I was wrong, he said. I waited. At dinner about you, about everything. I nodded slowly. I thought success was noise, he went on, titles, money, people being impressed. And now, I asked. Now I'd give anything just to be able to sleep without wondering if my life is over. The house was quiet, the same table, the same chairs. He swallowed. Why didn't you ever brag, he asked, about your work, your connections, anything? I leaned back. Because real stability doesn't need applause, I said, and because I've seen what happens when pride drives the car. Tears filled his eyes. I humiliated you, he said, and you never fought back. I met his gaze. I didn't need to, life teaches better lessons than I ever could. He nodded slowly. I'm scared, he whispered. For the first time in years, he didn't sound like a man who thought he was better than everyone in the room. He sounded like a child again. I stood and placed a hand on his shoulder. You lost your position, I said. You lost your reputation, maybe your money, but you haven't lost everything, not yet. He looked up. What do you mean? You still have the chance to learn humility, I said. Most people only get that lesson once, some never learn it at all. He exhaled, shaking. I'm sorry, he said again. This time it wasn't pride speaking, it was truth. Months passed. The case dragged on. In the end, he avoided prison but was banned from holding financial management roles for years. His career path collapsed. The fast lane he had been so proud of ended in a dead stop. He took a small job at a startup, no title, no glamour, just work. One Sunday, we sat at the same table again. No mocking, no laughter at someone else's expense. He looked at me and said quietly, you know, you're the strongest man I know. I raised an eyebrow. He smiled sadly, you never had to prove it. And in that moment, I realized something. I hadn't needed revenge. I hadn't needed to expose him or shame him or strike back. All I had done was stay silent and let his own arrogance build the fall. Sometimes the most powerful response isn't anger. It's patience. Because when someone believes they're standing on a mountain, the smallest crack beneath them can send their whole world crashing down.